Good evening, everybody. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hey, Roger. You're muted, bud. Still muted.
Yeah, good evening. Glad I get on.
No worries. It's May 10th. This is the town manager Q&A. It's pretty much an open forum, so any questions you may have, I'm more than happy to answer. Or if you want any updates on any projects that are ongoing in town, I'll be more than happy to provide any updates on that as well. So,
Okay, I've had some questions on the Second Avenue paving or,
sure.
first phase, whatever. That'd be one. You want to cover that sometime in the meeting?
Okay. You don't sound like the president, man. So, what's your question?
Well, I guess I got along. Maybe haven't checked your project schedule, but I thought with it that we got the FEMA money that was holding up things, and that phase was going to have started by now, the first phase of it.
Yeah, I wish. With a hazard mitigation grant program, you have to go through the Department of Emergency Management. And we were hoping once we were awarded the money, this is from Irma, by the way, not Ian, Irma. So we've been working on this that long. And pretty much we're just waiting on all the other jurisdictions to do their box checks in order for us to get the money. But we've been in a holding pattern for probably about 2 months now. We've done every request for additional information. We had to do cost benefit analysis, all sorts of stuff. But yeah, this is like a 3-year slow band-aid being ripped off right now. So we were very excited at the very beginning. We thought it would be smooth and easy to get the money. But again, it's from the federal government. So you can only imagine how many hoops we have to jump through in order to get that money.
And that's now at the Irma is the office of what?
FEMA gives the money to the state of Florida. And then the state of Florida pretty much has the Department of Emergency Management handle the allocation of those funds.
Okay.
So yeah. So when a natural disaster happens,
well, it's the state department then.
Yeah, no, it's not us holding things up. It's just us waiting for others to just give us the go ahead, the green light. So
it's the state has the money. I guess there's no possibility they just wouldn't approve it then. It's just a bureaucratic backlog.
pretty much. The only issue that we had was with the Bessie Basin. The cost benefit analysis based on the cost going up over the last 2 years. You have to make sure that you're in the positive, and that one we had to reduce the scope in order to be in the positive. But West Second Avenue was in the positive the entire time, and the same thing with Butler. So we're just waiting for the contracts to be sent over so I can get town council to approve them, and once they're approved, we can go ahead with construction.
So your best guess would be a few months construction start? I mean, it's a guess, I know.
Roger, I'll go back to the Money Pit movie and say 2 weeks. But I wish I can give you an exact number or a date. But I don't want to do that at this point because again, we're waiting for approvals from other jurisdictions, and
I think that's been some of the frustration from the people on Second Avenue. They just don't understand the delay after they're told things are going ahead,
No, Roger, I agree. I would love to get it done right now. But it just seems like we have every time we think we're going to get the contract, there's one more hurdle we have to overcome
Yeah.
in order to get that. And it's frustrating for me. It's frustrating for the residents, especially after how much, public input we gave. Good news is that once the governor signs the new budget, we're able to utilize some of the funds from ARPA for the potable water system in other areas, because there's 3.081 million that's going to be allocated from 6th Avenue north to the canal for potable water for everybody.
Okay. Okay. That's going north from where? From
6th to the canal.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's just phase 1. Phase 2 and 3, we're still going to be requesting money in future session.
I'm hoping it gets to my house before my well fills.
Try, man.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, West Second Avenue. I think West Second Avenue, hopefully in the next month or so, we'll get the go ahead. And then you're looking at probably like a 3 or 4 month process just to get the contract awarded. And then once it's awarded, then probably about 2 months before they actually start working. So yeah. Tanya, you agree with that?
Yes, sir. Obviously, because it's a FEMA project, we'll be required to do a formal bid to select the contractor. So that piece will have to happen, and then we can start turning ground once we award that.
Yeah. But we're gonna have to do public input with the whoever's awarded the contract, just to make sure that we know all the logistics as far as the MOT, stuff like that. So where are we gonna start? Where are we gonna finish? Who has special needs, all that stuff. Was that it, Roger? That was a softball, man.
Yeah. The only other thing I'm not quite up to date on the pavilion.
Oh, there we go.
And on one workshop with the council, but I think I missed the meeting. I have conflicts Tuesday evening with a church folk ensemble of all things. So I'm not able usually to attend Tuesday meetings. So I'm not asking for a construction start date on the pavilion, but what's the latest?
So you're a folk singer? So anyway, no, with the pavilion, we've had, over the last 6 years, we've been actually 5 years, been working on this. And of course, some issues come up at the last minute, which are not invalid, but they're valid points, especially from the people that live on Forest and stuff like that. But right now, with the town council, they are looking to negotiate with Healthy West Orange and Rotary Inc. To see if the size, scale, and shape of the pavilion that was proposed a year ago can be amended. So I'm setting up that meeting right now.
Okay. Yeah, I had some word that the engineers, architects, whatever, were already working on a revised design, and I guess I had a question. Well, who's approving the expenditure of more money, and is the town responsible? I know there's $150,000 with a question of what it's all in it, but hopefully they're not spending more money that the town would be responsible for if it didn't go ahead, unless the town has input into that spending. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, everything's on
By
hold
that at
right now.
all.
Yeah, sorry, Roger. Everything's on hold right now. So, if there is any additional costs due to the town's, wanting for them to redesign, so on and so forth, the town would eat that cost if Healthy West Orange is not willing to do that.
Mhm.
So it's $1 million grant. And with the reduction in size, shape, and scale, and if they were going to reduce the concession stand and make it something different, like a multi-purpose room, then the furnishings in the concession stand would be, that's like saving $200,000 right there.
Mhm.
So it offset that cost of where we're at right now.
Okay, and those meetings are being scheduled or moving ahead.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Those meetings to negotiate with Healthy West Orange, whatever, those are already been planned. They're going ahead with those.
Yeah, we're meeting with them to see, where we're at and go from there. But right now, all work is stopped.
Okay, that helps. When people ask me, it helps to have some answer.
Hey, Roger, send them my way. I mean, as always.
Okay.
So
That's
yeah, I mean,
That's what I've been doing lately.
yeah, I mean, West Second Avenue, I mean, that thing, or gosh, I wish we could do it tomorrow. But to do it right, that $1 million that we're getting from the feds is going to make it, so where two cars can actually pass each other, and I think every resident will appreciate it, and I just want them to be patient. So
Yeah, I saw some people asking about that on Facebook. I think the Facebook post, there was a couple of questions about that, about when that's going to happen. I missed the first 10 minutes of your meeting. Sorry to jump in here.
no, it's just Roger, taking over my meeting, so it's okay.
I think he outranked.
Pretty much. But yeah, no, I mean,
I don't want to start getting blamed for things that Robert will take the heat for.
That's
take a number, Roger.
that's a great policy.
No, but yes, definitely, I mean, we worked hard to get that grant, and it's just a matter of just getting through the red tape, man. I mean, I wish it would have been last year, but it's just so hard to get through the process. But that one is pretty much a go. The only one that gave us heartache was Bessie Basin. That was it. So anything else, Roger, you want to hit me up with?
No, I guess it's just, there's a small number on here. I'm not available for a long-range planning meeting this month. I'll be out of the country, actually. So if there's anything that is critical, I guess John could take over if we have a quorum. So just to let you know.
Oh no, we're gonna load it up now. We're gonna put the 500 block. We're gonna put, pavilion.
But anything,
Anything else,
I'll see if I can. I don't know if I'm going to be in even Wi-Fi range. I'm on a riverboat in Europe. First time I've ever been on a riverboat, so we're doing that. But I don't know if you get Wi-Fi connection on those things or not. So,
I didn't even try. What river you going on?
it's the Moselle and the Rhine, And we start in Basel, Switzerland, I guess it is, and go upriver. The boat goes upriver for 2 weeks and picks up different people and goes downriver 2 weeks. We end up in Antwerp. I can never pronounce that. Belgium, is it?
Yeah. Are you going with Molly or you're just going by yourself?
No, my wife and I, Joanne and I, and we're meeting a couple that used to live here, but they're now in Atlanta, and they'll be on the boat also. Fairly small boat, about 120 people, I think, total.
Yeah, it gets small quick.
Yeah. And then they break into smaller groups for touring the towns along the way. We always put off cruising on boats other than I've chartered sailboats, that I captain for ourselves, but we put it off until we said, we'll do that when we get older. And I think suddenly we got older.
Yeah.
comes on one day at a time.
All right. Nancy, I see you there, but where's your glass of wine? Oh, she's not now she's on mute and trying to defend herself without being on.
I know, I already finished it, so.
The bottle or the glass?
Just the glass.
Okay. All right. Roger, anything else, man?
No, thanks, Robert. Appreciate that.
Yeah. And honestly, if anybody has any questions about like West Second Avenue or any other project, they can email me and I'll be more than happy to call them up and give them the facts. I mean,
I find they would rather complain about you than actually check the website or call.
no, that never happens.
So that's why I want to
Believe
get back to it. It's not your fault.
Yeah, I got $6.7 million in the state budget this year, and I'm hoping DeSantis signs it the next week. But yeah, just point at me.
What parts did you get of your appropriations that we were seeking?
I got 3.081 for the central phase for potable water system.
Oh, great.
1 million for phase 1 for the multimodal path, which is in addition to the 760 I got from Demings.
For the bridge.
Yeah, so that'll pay for the entire thing. I got 375 for the wastewater study. 1.5 million for Windermere Road and Main Street intersection improvements. 750,000 for Chase and Main intersection improvements. And I think that's it.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
Good
without a
job.
lobby too.
That is terrific. Great job.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
See what happens when I get off council? Things start happening.
Yeah, having Baxley as your new rep, that helps because he's the spear pro tem. So
Yeah, that's good. Great job.
yeah, and I don't think DeSantis would veto or line item veto any of our projects because they're all infrastructure projects, which he's pretty much staking his claim to. So
Do we have to post any DeSantis for president signs along there?
no.
I'm sure there will be plenty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Robert, that grant would happen when, assuming it's approved, that would be next year
No, July 1st.
of this year?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Don't make him mad between now and July 1st, please.
I gotta hold up that letter I was about to send.
I sit on the tourist development tax committee, and I'm getting hammered with the Major League Baseball stuff right now. So, yeah, let me just get through Friday and then I'll be all right.
Roger will be out of the country, so we should be okay.
Yeah. I won't start any new rumors till I get back.
There you go. Good job.
Yeah. All right. So Nancy, I mean, we have Pam S. Pam, I'm sorry,
I'm
Nancy.
sure-
go ahead.
I'm sure this question has been asked before, but I was just wondering, when is the work going to start on the Lake Bessie? You know, the water management and everything. What's happening with that?
We are still, same thing as West Second Avenue. We are still waiting for the final approvals from all the jurisdictions. I was very optimistic at the very beginning to where, you know, it seemed like things were moving very fast and we're able to get those projects done within a year or maybe 18 months. But again, when you're depending upon the state for funds, you have to jump every hurdle and get through every red tape. So it's taken longer than we thought. And then during that process, costs have gone up as well, you know, from, you know, stormwater standpoint. So they had to reevaluate the cost benefit analysis, which hurt us. So we had to reduce the scope of the actual project. But we're able to, from the town standpoint, fund the balance of that project once we get the contract from DEM.
So we don't have any kind of a estimate of the date that you're going to start or anything like that.
You'll be the first one I call.
That would be wonderful. I would appreciate it. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Nathan. Pam S.
Hi, I'm Pam Scrimshire. And once I jumped on, I couldn't figure out how to change my name. There's not the little change your name anyplace. No, I'm just listening, just seeing whether. And I actually have another meeting in 3 minutes, so I'm going to say goodbye momentarily.
I feel
But
very
yes,
unimportant.
there's a way to
That's
change
fine.
one's name, but anyway, so well done.
Pam, do we
Thank
have,
you.
we have a tree board meeting tomorrow? I didn't get an email. Was that-
No, next week, not
Next week.
tomorrow week. But I don't know if we've decided a time, so that's all I know.
I'll check with the boss.
Yeah, yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
I jump to another meeting. Thank you all. Bye.
Nice
thanks,
to see
Pam.
you.
Bill, we really need that meeting to happen so we can move forward with the 500 block.
Yes.
So I know Susan is looking to resign as chair, but yeah.
Yeah, she's going to be moving soon. So,
Yeah.
okay, I'll talk to her tomorrow and get some direction on that.
Thanks, man.
I am an ex officio member of the tree board, not an official. So don't tell anybody. I only had one question. I missed the meeting about which way the 10% variance rule went. I know the DRB voted in favor of eliminating it or modifying it. What happened with that?
It was first reading, so they approved the
Oh.
the 10% exemption. The only thing they had heartburn about was the condition as far as fire or a natural disaster, to where if something happened, then they can rebuild with something that's non-conforming. So we took that out.
Okay. Yeah, it makes
So
sense.
yeah, everything else is fine. So you're not going to have the same situation to where you have a variance every time somebody wants to build on a property that's non-conforming, as long as they're not making that non-conformity more, and they're adhering to our current FARs and stuff like that.
Yeah, so whatever they build onto has to fit within the new or the current guidelines as far as setbacks and whatnot, correct?
Yes, and they cannot add on to the nonconformity.
Okay, well, that makes sense. I mean, 85% of all the variance requests we had in the last 4 years were due to rules that were put in place after somebody's house was built for the most part. So, and every time I thought there can't be any houses left that fit that criteria, you know, there's always, they keep popping up. So I guess we still have, you know, plenty of houses to go. So I think it's a good change. I think that was a needless expense and time constraint for a lot of homeowners. And, you know, I told Brad, I said, I don't want to take money out of your pocket. And he said, no, he definitely was in favor of it. He's got bigger fish to fry. So I think that's good.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons we have Brad, is that if we see something that consistently comes through and it is approved, then you have to take a look at your land development code and see if it needs to be amended.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what he did. So
Lucky to have him. He's great. His whole company's terrific.
agreed. So I see iPhone 8 with their hand raised.
Yes, Mr. Smith, this is Gloria Groom. I'm so sorry. I wish I could figure out how to add my name, but it seems like I can never figure that out. So I'm so sorry.
Oh, I can make any name you want. I mean, I can call it-
But anyway, I live at 416 East 6th Avenue. And I know I'm beating a dead horse. And Mr. Martini, I was going to disguise my voice so you wouldn't know it was me again.
Quite all right, Gloria. We're still on speaking terms, right?
Of course we are, and always will be. So thank you
Yes.
for always letting me express my opinion and thoughts. I was wondering, you know, about the Oakdale diverter. That's like the thorn in my side. And, you know, I've lived here for 34 years, and it's the only thing that has ever made me complain or be concerned about, because it affects me so directly. And I was wondering, Mr. Smith, is that like a done deal now? Like, I know we had an opportunity to speak at the April town council meeting, but is that like a done deal, like it's decided? And I promise if it is, I won't bother you all anymore. And you too, Mr. Martini. I appreciate the fact that you came to my home that day and explained it all to me. That was so kind of you. I'm very grateful for that.
Well, it was my pleasure, and I'm no longer on council, so I can.
Oh.
I'll be happy to give you Tom Stroop's number.
That's why he looks so happy and relaxed, by the way. Yeah, I saw him last night. I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, this guy looks like he had like, you know, like a backpack full of like, you know, cement just taken off his back. So
that was the beer.
oh, sorry.
Talking.
But yeah, no, I have a workshop on, I think it's May 23rd. But I was gonna combine that with probably the Oakdale diverter.
Okay.
But that would be a town council workshop. The last one we had was a public input workshop, which we do, you know, with every project that's gonna have a direct impact on residents. And then we go to town council for their thoughts, and then we go to an actual town council meeting where they actually, you know, say, okay, this is the way we're going. So you have 2 more bites at the apple as far as what you believe or what you think should happen with the diverter plan. So I mean, what are your concerns? So I can, like, Tanya and I are on here. So
well, I live on East 6th Avenue, which of course, as everyone knows, and Main Street were the 2 busiest roads in Windermere. And I did a lot of business. I used to go down Chase Road to, is it 528? Well, there are a lot of businesses that I used to go to and appointments that I used to make, medical appointments and things like that, that I had to go down Chase Road to get to. But since the diverter has been installed, of course, I can't get to that easy stop sign that lets me cross Main Street and get to Chase Road very easily. And I am not an aggressive driver. So when I try to pull out onto East Sixth Avenue going west, making that left-hand turn, it
Yeah.
is so dangerous. And it takes a long time, like 15 minutes sometimes for anyone to stop and allow me to go through. And again, part of that might be that I'm not an aggressive driver. I want it to be completely safe before I pull out. And
Yeah.
because I've seen so many accidents on East Sixth Avenue, a motorcycle crashed right in front of my house in the green area. And I was sitting in my living room and I just saw it right happen. And I ran out there and thankfully he was okay, because traffic stops suddenly a lot and people are not prepared to stop suddenly. So I see people running off the road. I've seen fender benders. Of course, we know that car didn't take the corner right in front of my house and hit the tree. And the people across the street used to have a wrought iron fence that was run into twice. And now, and of course, they removed it after the second time. So I see a lot that goes on East Sixth Avenue that if you don't live on East Sixth Avenue, you may not even know that it occurs. So it's very dangerous. And I just miss so much just being able to go down Oakdale to get to Pace Road. And really it has changed the way I do business and where I do business and make appointments. And I'm just crying for it to be open again so that I can utilize that easy way to get to Chase Road. So that is my main concern. But I feel like there's been a characterization that if you're not for it, then you don't care about children, which is so wrong. There are so many places in Windermere where children can safely play, and the green area around Lake Bessie is literally a block away from Oakdale where children can play safely, and all the other areas in Windermere and the playgrounds. And it just seems that there are other options for parents to have their children play safely. And believe me, I love children as much as anyone, and I certainly want them to be safe. But this one thing for me to give up, like literally, it has changed my life and the way I do business. So I'm very frustrated by it. And I hate the characterization that if you're not for it, then you're against children, because that's certainly not true. And children are children really safe anywhere on any street? Anyone can come around the corner and strike a child on any street in Windermere, and just diverting the traffic off of Oakdale. To me, it's like putting a Band-Aid on a jugular vein slice. It might help temporarily, but eventually the blood's going to gush out one way or another. And it just doesn't seem like a long-term solution for me. And it really affects me. And so I'm sorry I'm going on and on.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I mean, you lost me at like a Band-Aid on a jugular vein. I mean, that's pretty, no, I totally hate kids and I don't want them around. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I hate that characterization, and that is
you're
not what I want at all. I want all children to be
you're
safe, of
you're
course.
totally fine. You're totally fine.
Thank you.
No, valid concerns. But I do see that diverter, just based on the public input, staying where it's at. And we can maybe look at what else we can do to make it easier for you to exit, onto 6th. And one of the things that we're looking at again is what we talked about earlier was the appropriations for Windermere Road in Maine and then Chase in Maine, to where we can get the cars in and out. But that means that I have to do improvements at 6th, because once I open those floodgates, 6th is going to be backlogged. But I think that is pretty much an easy fix, because all we have to do is, we don't have to really expand the roundabout, but a
Mhm.
little bit. So you can do like a continuous lane north and south, and a continuous lane onto 6th. So once you open those floodgates, they'll be able to get in and get out. So those peak times, you know, you're not going to have stacking or what you currently have from the stop signs. But yeah, it stinks because I mean, there's no good answer because we're having to deal with other jurisdictions and their bad decisions. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
you know, we're trying to do the best we can to, get the traffic moving and get it going. But at least we have money now from the appropriations to do that. So I can't make any promises, but I do believe that Oakdale diverter will remain in place.
Okay, all right, I'll just have to accept it. But anyway, again, I just want to thank you, Mr. Smith, for letting me speak every time. And Mr. Martini, thank you again for coming to my home to discuss it with me. I appreciated that so much. And I really appreciate all of you just letting me speak my mind freely and ask all the questions that I've been asking and expressing my feelings honestly. So I'm so grateful to you all. So thank you very much.
No.
It was my pleasure, and I appreciate your input. And I almost called you the other day about fixing your shower doors, but I saw I saw you got a good guy to fix that, and
Yes, I did.
I
Thank you.
wrote his name down based on your post.
Yes, 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 he was
Good.
excellent.
So
But
you're on
anyway,
the
thank you again.
so you're on the corner of Bessie and 6th. Have you thought
Yes,
maybe like pulling out onto 6th, going that one block to Lake Street and then loop around to Magnolia? I know it may be a little like an extra minute or two to do that,
yes,
but I think that would probably be about the same amount of time as if you zigzag down to
yes.
9th
Yeah,
or
and
11th.
And that's an option. And actually, one of my neighbors just today suggested that I go down 7th to Main Street and make a right on Main Street and then just go around the roundabout down Main Street to
Oh.
Chase. So that was
Yeah.
a good option that I thought today.
Yeah, that's only
Someone
one.
just told me that.
That's only one, or 2 short blocks off your travel.
Yes,
That,
yes,
that
exactly.
makes a lot of
So
sense.
yes, so I will manage. And again, I thank you very much for allowing me to express my thoughts. And I hope I didn't get on your nerves too bad.
Oh, believe me, no, you have not.
Robert has a
Every-
chart of nerves, people on nerves, and I think I'm up here. So you're not.
No, I think Nancy is, but that's okay. No, everybody thinks that I have like a pitchfork and horns and a tail, but I shave the horns off, put the pitchfork up, and cut the tail off before every meeting. So no, I'm here to listen and to make this community better. That's why we have these meetings. So
Thank you, Mr. Smith. And thank you again to Mr. Martini. I appreciate you both very much.
Yes, and we're very candid about, okay, is this something that I think is going to happen or not happen? But I think that Oakdale and 9th is going to happen. So, I'm not trying to give you, hope or anything like that, but, I believe it's moving in the direction of approval.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for your honesty and I will adjust. So I'll put that in my mind and, I'll prepare for it in my future travels. So thank you again, both of you. And forgive me, I have to leave the meeting now also. So forgive me for just sliding out now.
Oh, no problem. Everybody else has
Gloria, before you go.
Yes.
All right, this is Nancy, and I know exactly how you feel about making a left-hand turn. And I was going to suggest what was just suggested beforehand. If I have to make a left-hand turn, I just go up 7th. And if I take it, I make a right, go around the roundabout, and then go on down. And it's just 1 minute, and it's much better for somebody to let you in. And I think you can do that pretty easily.
Great idea.
Yes, it sounds like.
My daughter's sitting here. She told me she does the same thing.
Yes,
Which-
I think
So it's
that'll
not
be-
just for old people.
Yes, that will be a completely acceptable alternative. So thank you all again.
All right, thank
Bye-bye.
you so much.
Robert, is there any in the diverter plan? Is there going to be any emergency gate that opens for any other
No,
police, fire, or anything? Or it's gonna be a physically blocked thing
no,
with no emergency gate?
it's a low curb, and Roger, if anybody like EMS or anybody needs to get to you, they will get to you. They will drive over it. They will go on the edge of the right of way. You know, people are concerned about that, but it's really not a concern. You know, we have right of way to the east and west of that diverter plan. On the east, you're gonna have like a section for like, you know, for golf carts to get through. But as far as EMS or, you know, fire, anything else, I would not worry about that whatsoever.
It's only my emergency I have to worry about that.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I mean, with our PD, we're pretty much the first responders, because it takes like 12 or 13 minutes for like FD or EMS to get to you from the
Yeah.
initial call, unless they're in the area. But all of our guys are trained. Like, you know, if you had a heart attack, get an AED, stuff like that. So I really wouldn't worry about that.
No,
But if they
I
need to
just
get to
wondered
you,
that.
they're going to get to you. That was one of the concerns with like the roundabouts. You know, they're like, oh, well, you know, if it's blocked, then how's, you know, the fire department or EMS going to get to us? I'm like, they'll drive right over that thing.
No,
And they
they're-
do. So there's no worries there. Or if we needed like an emergency wine run for Nancy.
Okay. Keep that in mind. I might have to use that.
So,
Hank Connors used to call it his golf cart. He called it his wine ambulance. Because
Yeah.
Hank and Nancy Connors, he called it his wine ambulance because it was
Oh.
always an emergency.
well, anytime like, you know, the kids stub their toe or, you know, start crying, I'm like, oh, let's call the ambulance. But I mean, it is what it is. But Nancy, thank you so much for being like involved in like all of these meetings. I mean,
Oh, well, listen, I'm glad I remembered to get involved.
How do you feel about trees?
About what? Trees?
About trees?
Oh, are you going to try and get me into the tree board or something?
We're losing the members left and right here.
Oh, I know. We're losing Susan. What a big loss. Oh, my goodness.
yeah.
Yeah, and Jackie passed away, and I think Dennis, what's Dennis's wife's name?
Leslie,
Leslie, yeah, Leslie is I think has stepped off the tree board, so it's just Tanya and Frank anymore.
Oh, really? Wow.
And who else? There's somebody. Well, we have some ex officio members too, and Pam, of course.
Pam,
And,
Yeah.
But you know, we need to rebuild.
And the 500 block will go to DRB in June and to town council in July and August.
Okay.
And so that's just a heads up.
All right.
Okay. Well, thank you for answering my question. I think.
What?
I'm still going to have to wait for an answer, I guess is what I was trying to say.
For which one?
Bessie.
About the Lake Bessie.
Oh my gosh. If I can give you an answer, I would love to give it to you, but
I know
mean,
you would. I
it's
know you would.
Department of Emergency Management is just, it's so hard to get through that. But we've been working on it.
I know you have. And I know I'm going to get the first call once you have an answer.
You have a
Yeah.
witness. Heard him say that.
Maybe the second call. I'm sorry. First call would be to Tanya. Be like, what happened? Tanya, anything to add before we close out tonight?
No, sir. Yeah, I think you've handled everything.
All right, Roger, enjoy your next adventure, which you do every year.
Right. Once I get there, it should be fun.
All right.
I don't look forward to long flights anymore.
All right. Well, Bill and Nancy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you,
I really
Robert.
appreciate it. And
Yes,
thank you
thank
for
you
being
all.
involved.
Good
Okay.
job, Robert. Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you. See you
Thank you.
soon.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.